Stop with the questions. Celebrate.
And then they say, is Donald Trump an intellectual? Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Yosemite's one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
Mike Lindell's a conspiracy.
But you haven't.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy.
Amazing. He can't sit down. He's got a burning in his butthole. He's got a fire. He's got a flame coming out of his butthole.
Big, massive dumps.
Oh, I have a term for that. I call it corporate communism.
Somebody sent me a thing this morning where they're talking about putting the vaccine into salad dressing.
You see, this is a simple meme that you would find on the internet, but this meme is very real.
You ain't seen nothing yet until you see the flaming butthole.
Putting us on our knees to China.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
We have to keep our country gay.
Oh yeah. Found the nation. Waldorf Nation. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Thursday. Welcome, everyone. I'm here, my very stable genius, to show how much of a very stable genius I am. I don't know. Weird way to start the show, but hey, welcome to it. We're going to have fun. We've got a lot of stories here that I want to get to. Let's see. We, of course, have Donald Trump gloating about things that he probably shouldn't. We have that. We have MAGA versus Hannity. We got Marjorie Green versus Tulsi Gabbard. We got a fight of the grifters, everybody. We got a grifter fight. The best fights, other than, well, I guess in all these cases, Republican and Republican crime. Fun, as always. Then we have a story of, not in a literal sense, but leopards eating my face. Yes, it's one of those stories. We have where I will talk about the conspiracy of Ray Epps and how the leopards have come for his face. What? There's a lot of interesting stuff here. But we will also be getting into Representative George Santos, if that is his real name. At this point, we know nothing. We don't know what's true about Representative Santos, but there is a lot of lies and apparently an investigation into said lies, including financial stuff that could be very consequential. So, with that, why don't we dive in? We're going to start out with Trump, of course, who's having a little bit of a party. Interesting. Let's get to it. And by the way, please like and share the stream. As 2022 draws to a close, Republicans are set to take over the House of Representatives. The January 6th committee is getting ready to wind down their investigation of former President Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. So now on Wednesday, Benny Thompson, chairman of the panel, decided to, write to Mr. Trump's attorney, informing them that the subpoena would be dropped. Now, I'll get to the reason why. But first, we'll have Trump crowing about it. Here's what Thompson had written. In light of the imminent end of our investigation, the Select Committee can no longer pursue the specific information covered by the subpoena. Therefore, through this letter, I hereby formally withdraw the subpoena issued to former President Trump and notify you that he's no longer obligated to comply or produce records in response to said subpoena. So, I mean, very clearly, he says, look, it's the end of our investigation, so we don't have time. We're out of time. There you go. Now, of course, when Trump hears the news, he decides to throw a little victory party over on
Truth, essential.
And so here's what he said. Was just advised that the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs has withdrawn the subpoena of me going concerning the January 6th protest of the crooked 2020 presidential election. They probably did so because they knew I did nothing wrong, or they were about to lose in court. Anyway, perhaps the FBI's involvement in rigging the election played into their decision. In any event, the subpoena is dead. Now, of course, tell me that you didn't read the letter without telling me you didn't read the letter. There's no way he read the letter. Then again, it's probably way too long for him and not broken up into tweet-length segments with his name peppered in between. Because remember, that's how he reads. Okay, look. Now, here's the thing. The investigation is over. Not because they have actually come to a conclusion and actually referred this to the Justice Department and said that, yeah, we think we have enough evidence for some criminal indictments. That said, the DOJ has their special counsel now, Jack Smith, who is looking into and getting as much of the evidence as he can. So certainly Donald Trump is not out of the woods yet. Still, Donald Trump throwing a party. No, the reason that the committee is over, which by the way is non-binding, right? They can't actually charge a former president or a sitting president or anything like that. They're a committee that was doing hearings. That was it. They don't have any legal power to do that stuff. As far as charging a president. Although they can, again, issue subpoenas, and if they, if somebody doesn't respond to that subpoena, they could do what they did to Steve Bannon and throw him in jail. The investigation is over because the current Congress is over. That's it. The committee was always supposed to end at this time. It ends on January 3rd. It was slated to dissolve on January 3rd. And so the hope was, of course, from Democrats that a good midterm result, at least in the House of Representatives, could lead to another committee being formed to finish out their work. I don't think there was any work need to be done. I think at this point, they have enough evidence to refer to the Justice Department that Donald Trump be indicted. And so, again, I don't see any additional work. That said, the midterm results led to Republicans taking back the House of Representatives, and Republicans have no interest in investigating January 6th at all. They just have none. In fact, I'm going to show you a video here. This is Chairman Ronna McDaniel telling you what Republicans do plan on spending their newfound majority in the House looking into.
You talked about some of the things, just getting answers for questions that have been unanswered for 2 years now. What do you think the most important question is that Republicans should get to the bottom of when they get there?
Well, we have to govern. We have to do things on behalf of the American people. But I do think we have to look at big tech and the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop and real information that was prevented from getting to the voters because of big tech and the Biden administration and Democrats colluding together. I also think we do need to get to the origins of the pandemic. We should all look back and say, how did this happen? Why did this happen? Were we given clear information? Why were our kids kept out of school? What were the policies that worked and what didn't? And I think that's very fair. And this is what winning the Republican majority in the House is going to bring to the American people. This is a significant win, and it happened because of voters getting out and retiring Nancy Pelosi, and now Republicans will have the reins finally.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're going to do nothing. Why don't you bring like another Benghazi investigation back while you're at it? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a stone somewhere in Libya that has not been unturned, and under it, you will find Obama or something.
Obama.
All right, okay. So you're going to waste time. Fine. But, all right, good to know. Now, a little bit more about the subpoena, though. So basically, the panel was asking for Trump to produce phone calls, texts, encrypted messages, emails related to his efforts to try to overturn the 2020 election between November 3rd, 2020 and January 6th, 2021. So now what happened, of course, is that Donald Trump had sued and tied up the legal system so that he wouldn't have to do that or testify or anything like that. So how is this how does this prove that Donald Trump is innocent at all? Well, it doesn't. He just basically waited out the clock. Like, he gummed up the legal system, as he's used to doing. Because, again, he does this all the time. Appeals, sues, counter-sues, does all this stuff to just waste time. That's it, to drag everything out as long as possible so that he doesn't actually have to, in this case, do anything. Doesn't have to go to court. Doesn't have to provide any documentation. Doesn't have to do discovery. Yeah, I wonder why he would want to do that. Again, if somebody who's super innocent, as he said he is, well, then you would want to prove your case. This doesn't prove your case at all. It just, again, beats out the clock. That's it. That's it. And so it's a bit of a bitch move when you think about it. I mean, again, just waiting out the process, not going in, not defending yourself, because there is no defense here. But that's who Trump is. He's a bitch. He can't defend his position at all because there, again, is no defense. And then comes out later on and crows on social media about it. Oh, they knew I did nothing wrong. That's why it's over. No, you never even got into court, dude. You never even took the chance, because you had the chance, to come and testify and to prove your side, prove that you didn't do anything wrong. But again, bitch. Weak, sad, and pathetic. Of course, he's a worm. And he likes to wriggle away from any sort of accountability. And we should be absolutely used to that. I'm used to that. They don't call him Teflon Don for nothing, because nothing seems to stick to him at all. And so, look, honestly, it was kind of always going to be like this. Now, that said, I don't know if the DOJ, after Smith's investigation, is, the special counsel's investigation is going to, if they're going to actually do anything. If Merrick Garland, that's all on him. I don't have a lot of faith. I'm a very cynical person when it comes to people, especially rich and powerful people, continuing to get away with everything, because that's how this country is built. You always have rich and powerful people getting away with things unless they screw over other rich and powerful people. And so, again, I don't know if this case, if, the DOJ is going to actually take the information. And by the way, this is assuming, of course, that Jack Smith finds the evidence that he's looking for criminal charges and indictments against Donald Trump. We're just going to have to see. But here's Trump once again, claiming victory where there was no victory. I mean, there it is. All right. Go to the next one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Hunter Biden's, I don't know if I can even read that.
Tallywhacker.
Okay. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Got Sean Hannity. It appears that members of MAGA world are turning on Sean Hannity. Oh, that's interesting. Well, this comes from the newly released deposition surrounding the Dominion voter system's defamation lawsuit, which revealed that Hannity, at least he claimed under oath, that he, well, never believed, and not for 1 second, the idea that Donald Trump had won the election and that Biden had stolen it from him. Now, that revelation, of course, has him at odds with many of his, well, his old friends. I'll give you some examples here. Among the chuds that are very upset with Hannity are people like Mike Pillow, our good friend, former Trump advisor Steve Bannon, far-right radio host Stu Peters, and even reportedly Trump himself. So I'm going to go through the list here. So this is according to Zachary Patrizzo of the Daily Beast, who noted that the most vocal critic is actually his former pal, pro-Trump lawyer Lynn Wood. Oh, interesting. So now, in a lengthy phone interview, Wood said that he had first met Hannity back in 1996, and whatever, it was roses, butterflies, many mimosas. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But afterwards, basically, he said, look, I thought Hannity was my friend. I thought he was my good friend. I thought we really knew each other. And we spent a lot of time with each other. But then, even though we had a good relationship, and we agreed that there was election fraud, it turns out that Hannity was lying to me the whole time. Maybe he didn't really love me. No, okay, that's not, not what he said. That's not what he said. Now, according to Wood on November 6, 2020, he sent Sean Hannity a text message of a clip of Wood speaking at the RNC headquarters. Along with the clip, Wood expressed frustration to Hannity that Fox News, the channel, had cut away from his comments. In response, Hannity responded with this: they stole it, and they will get away with it, and our country will be destroyed. So, I look out the window, and I don't really see a destroyed country. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong direction. Maybe I got to look out the north window or something. I don't know. I don't see a destroyed country, and I don't see any evidence that any election was stolen. Although we do see the fact that, Donald Trump had attempted to steal the 2020 election for himself by the whole fake elector scheme, and, trying to use non-existent voter fraud, or at least non-existent mass voter fraud, because there was voter fraud, and a lot of that actually came from Republicans voting for Trump or using their mother to vote for Trump, or but anyway, they tried to use the specter of mass voter fraud to try to disenfranchise the results and convince state legislators to throw out their electors and put in fake electors, who would then, of course, vote in the Electoral College for Donald Trump. So using that old institution of the Electoral College to try to steal an election for Republicans, which, by the way, a lot of these cases, at least recently, in recent history, Republicans have only seemed to be winning elections because of the Electoral College and not due to the popular vote. Strange. But anyway. Now, in response to Wood's complaint about Fox News cutting off his remarks, Hannity said this, quote, "Oh, I don't watch Fox." Oh, okay, sure. You're on Fox. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to watch it. I get it. Sure. But it is interesting. Oh yeah, no, I'm part of this network. I don't watch it though at all. What are you talking about? Why would I watch the network that I'm on? I mean, come on, it'd be ridiculous. Okay, sure. Now, for his part, Wood said that he was very disappointed and very unhappy with Sean Hannity. And it's because Sean Hannity lied. And he lied a lot. Now, there's only two possibilities, of course, in this, is that, and both of them end up with Hannity being a liar to someone, but Hannity was either lying under oath, which is bad, especially in a legal sense, or he was lying to Lynn Wood, which is less bad in a legal sense. One of those things will, get you in trouble. The other thing will get some crackpot mad at you. Well, we see the obvious choice that Hannity made there. Okay. So now, I doubt, of course, Hannity is stupid enough to lie under oath. Sean Hannity is not an unintelligent person. No, he plays a part. Sean Hannity is interested in what helps Sean Hannity's career. He is an old school careerist conservative. Okay, so look, he's wrong about a lot of things, but he's one of those people who will go along with what the Republican Party is doing. He believes in the old mission from Roger Ailes, which was to be the campaign arm, essentially the propaganda arm of the Republican Party. That's it. And so he will say what he needs to say, even if he might personally believe differently, in order to appeal to the audience so he can get the numbers. And that's really it. That's what he cares about. So lying, of course, helps his career. And Sean Hannity's been lying for so long, he does it without a second thought. Oh, yeah, I'll lie to my viewers against mass voter fraud? Sure. I get millions of dollars to do so. Oh, lying about mass voter fraud is going to get us in trouble? I guess we're going to stop lying about that. Okay. Basically telling people what they want to hear. Oh, they want me to talk about how Democrats stole the election? Well, how's my ratings? Are my ratings good? Are my ratings good? Am I getting in trouble? Oh, no, I could get sued. I guess I'm going to stop saying that. Okay. So that's it. That's Wood. Mike Pillow is a little bit more blunt. Gets better. Here's what Pillow told the Daily Beast. Quote, Sean Hannity is disgusting. He's a terrible journalist that does not do his job or his diligence when it comes to election crime. He doesn't seem to have any concern over any election problems in the country, and it's disgusting. Oh, okay. Asked if he has expressed such frustration to Hannity himself, Lindell said he'd of course told him, right, of course. Probably, I don't know. Is Sean Hannity and Frank's speech? Took me a minute to figure out, like, oh yeah, that's right. That's Mike Lindell's website. That's his social media company. All right. Yeah, okay. Very, very, very popular platform, I hear. Fun. But then claimed that the Fox News host, quote, never got back to me. Yes, well, I mean, is that a surprise? Okay. Look, Mike Pillow is an embarrassment. And he's an embarrassment to the people that I think that like him. But anyway, that's not to say that anyone else in the story isn't an embarrassment. I think they all are, and they're all terrible in their own ways. So it's fun to see them fight. Now, speaking of terrible, we have Steve Bannon. Bannon wrote that Hannity should face accountability for his terrible advice to Trump, while Posobiec posted a picture, it's Jack Posobiec, posted a picture of Hannity alongside CNN host Don Lemon and Michael Avenatti. Total grifter. I'll never remember, or I'm sorry, I'll never forget the exchange that Michael Avenatti had with my friend Farron Cousins from Ring of Fire. Oh, it's so epic. And now, Avenatti sitting in jail for fraud. But anyway, there's more. Bill Mitchell, another right-wing host, wrote, and just like that, Hannity ends his career. No, I doubt it. As long as people keep watching Sean Hannity, he keeps getting the ratings, he's going to keep getting paid, he's going to stay on the network. And especially if he doesn't get the network in trouble. Radio host Stu Peters weighed in and called him a, quote, clown, and said that he regularly washes and dries Reince Priebus and Sean Spicer's jock straps.
Testicles.
It's getting better.
I like my meat tight. Tighten up my meat.
Okay. Anyway, let him fight. Let him fight. This is entertaining. Now, conservative media has also gone after Hannity over his election fraud comments, suggesting that he is part of a fake patriot grift. Well, that would be projection, because the ones who are doing the fake patriot grift are the ones that are pushing the election conspiracies. That's not to say that Sean Hannity isn't a complete liar. He is, and doing this for the ratings. As I said, there's no good people here. Everyone's terrible. Everyone's terrible. Now, on Telegram, far-right Stop the Steal activist Ali Alexander has a different attack against Sean Hannity. He claims that he's CIA. Why would he say that? Oh, because he wears a pin. A specific pin? I don't... Okay, sure. Sure. Oh, he's a Fed. Oh, that's what he is. He's Fed. CIA. CIA. What is this, a leftist infighting Twitter thread going on here? Because I see that all the time on that as well. Hannity. But here's the thing about Hannity, right? Does he care about these clowns? No. These random, like conservatives who don't really matter. I guess in the grand scheme of things, they don't threaten Hannity's money. But there is one person that possibly could, and that's Donald Trump. In fact, according to a Trump source talking to the deal, in terms of direct contact with Sean, I think it's been a while. Now, I remember a time when Donald Trump was president, and he would allow Fox News hosts to call in and advise him on policy. I believe Hannity was one of those people. How far that relationship has separated. Okay. So look, here's what a Trump advisor told the outlet. Well, Hannity was his lapdog for years, but just like everyone else has been Trump's bitch at one point or another, the second Trump finds a reason to throw him in the garbage, he takes it. Oh, let him fight. Let him fight. It's so good. So good. According to 3 Trump World sources, Trump is upset with Hannity because the Fox News host had advocated for Trump to endorse Pennsylvania Senate candidate Mehmet Oz. Ah, yes, the loser with the crudité. Ah, yes, that guy. I had almost forgotten that he had run and then lost. A source close to Trump said a lot of the heartburn stems from the Pennsylvania Senate race. Hannity gets the blame for Oz because it's more convenient than blaming Melania, who had also reportedly pushed for Dr. Oz. And now he's been shown to be disloyal under oath, so it's Hannity's turn to get tossed overboard. And that's what happens. Again, leopards eating your face. I didn't think the leopard would eat my face. But that said, there's a situation where Hannity cares about this, and then there's a situation where he does not. And that's going back to how Sean Hannity is only there for, to basically get ratings and make money, and, do his job to support conservative propaganda. If Donald Trump loses the nomination, or something legal happens to him before that, because that's on the table, well, then he's not going to give a damn what Donald Trump thinks. Now, he probably won't be open about it until strong support from MAGA voters, and i.e. his own viewers, drops. And we've seen MAGA voters go towards DeSantis. Now, that said, if Donald Trump wins the nomination and somehow manages not to bungle that and wins the presidency again, which I think is not very likely this time around, that's when Hannity, of course, will immediately prostrate himself before Donald Trump and kiss the ring. or whatever else. Now, again, since that's not likely to happen, since we do see a lot of the Republican Party moving towards Ron DeSantis, I think Hannity is going to continue to do what Hannity does best: ignore the clowns and move on to the next thing, the next, migrant caravan or Biden's not at the border crisis or whatever. Whatever's going to make him more money. Because, again, that's what Sean Hannity's all about. All right. Moving on, let's go to Representative-elect Santos, if that is his real name. Oh. Slightly even more information that contradicts U.S. Representative-elect George Santos's history, his stated history, and his resume has come out. And that has prompted an investigation into whether or not he's been honest about anything that he has ever said. I'm not kidding. Now, according to the Associated Press, Santos is now under investigation by Long Island prosecutors after these revelations surfaced that the now embattled Republican lied about his heritage, education, and job history during his campaign. Nassau County District Attorney Ann T. Donnelly, a Republican, interesting, said the fabrications and inconsistencies were, quote, nothing short of stunning. This is a Republican who is surprised to see Republicans or any politician lie. Right. Oh, okay, she must have not been paying attention before, but great. She's looking into Santos because it turns out there's some issues there, potential legal issues, but we'll get to that. But we have some of the other issues that have come to light. And of course, there's a lie about him having Jewish ancestry, which is not true. A genealogist actually examined Santos's family tree and found no evidence of Jewish ancestry at all. Just flat out none. So he's not even, as he would call it, Jew-ish. I mean, I'm not Jewish, but I'm Jew-ish. Because I have family that fled the Holocaust. Nope, turns out, lie. Complete lie. Now, there's other things. He lied, of course, about working at Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, of course. Lying about getting a college degree. Okay, sure. Now, that is going to matter because it gets into how he makes his money. But he's facing allegations as well in Brazil of using stolen checks to buy shoes, clothes, a clothing store, and then ran from the country to avoid prosecution. Seriously. Then we also find out that he had lied about his dead mother. I mean, just the amazing amount of lies here. Oh, there's more. George Santos, you can see a couple of tweets here, different dates. 9/11 claimed my mother's life, so I'm blocking so I don't ever have to read this again. December 23rd, this year marks 5 years I lost my best friend and mentor. Mom, you will live forever in my heart. Okay. So this was flagged by Yashar Ali. So Santos's campaign website stated this. Georgia's mother was in her office in the South Tower on September 11, 2001, when the horrific events of that day unfolded. She survived the tragic events, but passed away a few years later when she lost her battle to cancer. Now, that is actually something that has happened to people. For example, rescue workers, first responders that had come in and pulled people from the rubble. And then later on, several years later, had died of, again, things like cancer or other, I guess, exposure to contaminants from the tower. And so, yes, that is a plausible story. Absolutely a plausible story. But how many is a few years? Well, I mean, she died 15 years ago. So, yeah, it's a bit more than a few. I mean, you look at the tweet and it implies that she died immediately, in a couple of years after 9/11. Well, not 15 years. I mean, maybe she held on quite a bit, and maybe that's because she's a tough woman. I don't know, but there's other lies about her as well. And before I get to other, things involved here, other lies, I probably shouldn't address this, but I want to do it anyway. Look at who he's responding to in the first tweet. I come from Mao. I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
Sexual anarchy.
Okay. Anyway, I had to. All right. So now that said, the more lies about her mother or his mother. In one radio appearance from December of 2020, Santos claimed that his mother had fled socialism in Europe and moved to the United States. And then added, my father fled socialism in Brazil. My mother fled socialism in Europe, and they came here to build a family. So he also claimed in another interview from 2020 that he grew up with a white Caucasian mother, an immigrant from Belgium. Well, no, that's not true. It turns out Santos's mother was born in Brazil, according to genealogical records. Interesting. There's more. Turns out we don't even know if his name is if he's using his real name. CNN uncovered a now deleted GoFundMe page that Santos started under a fake name. CNN's K-File reviewed records indicating that he had used the alias of Anthony Zabrowski for a fundraising pet charity that he claimed was a 501c3 tax-exempt nonprofit organization, which there is no record of. It doesn't exist. So, look, you have this. I mean, I know there's a saying. I can't think of it right now, but there's a saying like, one. It's almost like Lay's, right? Or not Lay's. Sorry, Pringles. When you pop, you can't stop. Well, once you lie, you have to keep lying. In order to cover up the original lie, and so it just keeps piling up these lies and what you're doing it's you look at one of these lies from Santos and you discover an entire rabbit hole full of them. It just goes on and on and on. It's amazing. In fact, one of the lies ended up reaching Anthony Scaramucci. And so he had to come out and be like, actually, it's not true. So Santos had claimed to have been on a panel at a private equity conference run by Anthony Scaramucci. Anthony Scaramucci was like, never heard of him. Nope. In fact, both Goldman Sachs and Scaramucci said this: the claim is entirely fictional. Scaramucci told CNN in a message, there's not only no record of him appearing on a panel, but no record of him even attending the conference. Wow, okay. Oh, it's better. It's better. Now, Santos also claims to be biracial. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, name's Santos, his mother's from Brazil, so yes, he would be biracial, but no, he claims that he is actually half black. Okay, I mean, sure, Brazilians, I suppose Brazil can also be black. Okay. But I mean, I look at Santos, I don't know. I look at him and I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe it's the color filters. Not that it really matters. But like, I don't. Why would you lie about this? I mean, I guess in the interview that I'm gonna show you in another segment here, he's a little bit more tan. But I don't know. The guy looks pretty white. Do you guys remember that Republican that had a sock puppet? And he accidentally posted on his main Twitter account that he was a gay black man. I don't know if you remember that guy. I did a segment on him. That's the feeling that I get from this. I mean, wow. Oh, you know what? I know why. It's because he didn't vote for Joe Biden. That's it. That must be it. You ain't black. No, come on, man. It's ridiculous. But again, there's a lot of lies and misrepresentations and super weak excuses. And now, look, I remember when this first came out, I was like, look, why didn't anybody catch this? I mean, he had 2 campaigns. So, I mean, why didn't anybody find any of this? Well, it turns out the opposition on research on Santos, which they did do, they did an opera research file. The DCCC did find some red flags about his past statements, but instead of talking about his some of the lies, they chose to focus on tying him to January 6th and his support for Trump's election fraud conspiracies. So now the report also sought to depict him as a far-right candidate, though his Democratic opponent, Robert Zimmerman, also tried to raise Santos's misrepresentations during his campaign, but nobody was paying any attention. So you could say that maybe the Democrats were not spending enough money in that race to, do effective messaging. Because remember that's where the money goes. It goes into ads. It goes into media. And so, if you're not pointing these things out, and you're not spending money to buy ads to point this stuff out, who's going to really know about it? There's a significant black population in Brazil. See, I'm not familiar with the demographics of Brazil. So that said, I haven't seen a picture of his mother, so I have no idea, or his father. I have no idea. I'm just saying he looks pretty white. Just saying. Anyway, now the other thing I'd asked about is, where's the money? Like, what about the money? Okay. Where did he get the money from? Well, buried within the report, the DCCC had raised issues about his shaky financial standing and multiple evictions that had left him thousands of dollars in debt. So, if you're making a ton of money, how are you skipping out on rent? That's weird. Buried within its report, the DCCC had raised issues about this and found federal campaign records. Okay? And those records showed that he had loaded his campaign more than $700,000. But couldn't figure out where the money was coming from. In fact, WABC reported that there were questions about how he was able to loan the campaign that amount while only earning a salary of $55,000 a year. Okay. Now, Santos responded to that and said, well, I do specialty consulting. Oh, specialty consulting. So somebody who doesn't have an education, doesn't have a history in consulting, can somehow pull in tons of money from I got into the wrong line of work, apparently. He said, quote, if you're looking at a $20 million yacht, my referral fee there can be anywhere between $200,000 to $400,000. So basically, he helps connect rich people looking to buy things from other rich people. Uh-huh. Now, look, at first glance, you look at this guy and you wonder how a person who had lied about his resume, education, and job history could be giving people, who could be doing consulting, right, to rich people. Who would listen to his advice? Well, then again, if you lied about it, I guess, how would they know, right? But I'm just thinking that if I paid this person hundreds of thousands of dollars in consulting fees, right, to a man who had no idea what he was doing at all, didn't know what they were talking about, didn't know what they were doing, because they lied about their qualifications, well, I would be livid. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? But then again, I guess if you're just connecting rich people to other rich people to make sales, that doesn't really sound like it's consulting. That said, what they're actually looking at is, well, a connection between the people that had used his consulting services to give him that money and his campaign. So that's where the issue of legality or illegality comes into this loan. See, now he admitted that his firm, the DeVolder organization, had loaned his campaign the money, the full $700,000 in small increments over time. So now, if that's true, and he took corporate money from his own company, by the way, but these are corporate assets, and loaned it to his campaign, that's a campaign contribution. And corporations cannot make campaign contributions directly to a candidate. That the Daily Beast explains that candidates for federal office may give unlimited amounts of their own money to their campaigns, but they cannot expressly tap corporate accounts to do so. Ah, interesting. Brendan Fisher, Deputy Executive Director of the Government Watchdog, said that corporate contributions to campaign and leadership PACs are expressly prohibited. Santos had made loans to both, with knowing and willful violations carrying possible criminal charges. So, taking the DeVolder money and sending it to his campaign, not legal. Now, the other question, though, is, did he set up DeVolder, who, by the way, has no clients, doesn't have products, doesn't have anything, nothing that's listed? Is this just a shell corporation? Is a shell corporation that was set up to allow those wealthy donors to contract him for consulting to actually use it to funnel money to his campaign? And if that's true, well, that not only would get him in trouble with the law, but also the people that have been funneling money through the shell corporation for consulting to his campaign. And what do we say about campaign contributions? You don't give money to a candidate as a big company or as a big donor unless you want something in return. You want that return on investment. What do you think this was? Return on investment. In fact, the Daily Beast has confirmed 4 DeVolder organization clients. New York-based Tentilo Auto Group, 2 organizations tied to the influential Ruiz family in South Florida, and another firm associated with the Long Island insurance magnate James C. Metzger. Santos had acknowledged all 4 of these clients on Wednesday. members of the Tantillo and Ruiz families, along with Metzger, all also happen to be Santos campaign donors. And some of them have further stakes in the Long Island political scene, including major donations to top Santos ally, Representative Lee Zeldin, who had lost his bid for governor this year. And there are even more connections that the Daily Beast article gets into in more detail. But yeah, interesting. So, as I mentioned before, if this is not a shell corporation, then Santos could have violated the law by diverting corporate funds to his campaign. But if it's a shell corporation being used to funnel money from these top donors who want a return on investment, it's essentially bribery. And that's against the law, obviously. Now, there is legal bribery in the form of campaign contributions, super PACs, etc., spending on behalf of a campaign, putting out ads and things like that. And there's also normal PACs. Only somebody who's so incredibly stupid and or maybe just greedy or just used to being able to get away with just enormous amounts of lies would try to go to this illegal route. And that looks like that might be the case with Mr. Santos. So I'm thinking that with these investigations starting, Santos appears to be fucked. Turns out those lies are starting to finally catch up with him. Awesome. Okay. Move on. Let's go to another let him fight scenario. There's just so much let him fight today. Loving it. On Tuesday night, Tulsi Gabbard ironically challenged Representative-elect George Santos for his many lies, called him out on his many lies that he had made during his campaign. Now, I say ironic because Tulsi Gabbard is the last person that should be out there questioning anyone's honesty or integrity. That said, she did it. And here's some of that.
The results that people are looking for are called into question when you tell blatant lies, not embellishments. And this is, I think, one of the biggest concerns, Congressman-elect, is that you don't really seem to be taking this seriously. You've apologized. You said you've made mistakes, but you've outright lied. A lie is not an embellishment on a resume. You said you worked at Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, but they've said, we've got no record of this guy working for us. You've said you've gone to and graduated from these universities, but they've said, well, we've got no record of that. These are blatant lies, and it calls into question how your constituents and the American people can believe anything that you may say when you are standing on the floor of the House of Representatives. These are blatant lies. My question is, do you have no shame? Do you have no shame in the people who are now you're asking to trust you to go and be their voice for them, their families, and their kids in Washington?
Okay, so look, again, here we have the last person that should ever be, questioning anyone's honesty. Tulsi Gabbard. Saying, do you have no shame? Now, look, in this, both are bad people. You know what I say to that? Let them fight. Let them fight. We got two lying grifters fighting against each other, and I think that's fantastic. Rip each other apart. Rip each other's faces up. I think it's great. I welcome it. And look, this is coming from somebody who once had praised Tulsi Gabbard. I fell for it. I know better now. And look, she stood up, at the time, I believe that she was standing up against the DNC and some of the corruption inside the Democratic Party, which I care very much about because I actually want a Democratic Party that represents labor and working class people and average people and not, giant multinational corporations and large donors. That said, Tulsi Gabbard, we find out, was only out for herself. The whole time. She lied about her anti-LGBTQ plus views, saying, "Oh no, these were in my past." I conservative family, right? I had a conservative family, and I don't believe that stuff anymore. Now, I believe in human rights for all people, and then comes out and is super anti-trans. She also lied about policy positions like Medicare for all, claiming that she had supported Medicare for all, a real single-payer healthcare, which is one of the issues that I care so much about. She lied about it. Doesn't actually support Medicare for all at all. At all. So, no. That said, that's Tulsi Gabbard versus Santos. But now we have a third contender, an entrance from another party, so to speak, a third grifter to get in the mix. And that's Marjorie Taylor Green. Oh, I bet you're surprised to see her show up in this story. Well, you know what? She is absolutely in this story, and she has brought
Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police.
That's right. That's right. In a Twitter thread, she apparently took aim at Tulsi Gabbard, not the person who lied to Republican voters. Because I don't really think that they would care at all that they don't care at all that Tulsi Gabbard lied to progressives, lied to Democrats, and, didn't support Bernie Sanders in the primary when she had the chance to throw her weight behind that in 2020 or in the primary seasons. It's the Democrats. And instead, she goes and defends Santos, who lied to Republican voters. Because of course. But there's a reason, and I'll get to that. But first, let me get to her response. She said, Tulsi Gabbard, who says she is a former Democrat, gave Representative-elect George Santos zero grace. Oh, is that what we're supposed to do? Just give people grace. Simply because they're Republicans. While George is admitting and apologizing for lying about his resume. Guy consistently downplayed those lies. Just like your former colleagues are giving George zero grace and even demanding he resign. Tulsi says that George's actions in the House floor are what's most important, but George has not even had the chance to take action for his district on the House floor because he isn't even sworn in yet. Okay, but the whole point is, how are you going to believe that he's going to do anything that he campaigned on? We don't. And again, if you're somebody who voted for him, be like, wait, why should I believe anything that you had said? Why do I believe? How can I believe that you're going to do anything you said you were going to do? Even if it's a horrible things that, I support and that you said you were going to do. Well, how do I know you're going to do those horrible things? I love those horrible things. That's why I voted for you. And it's just using that as an example. Anyway, she added, Tulsi also says, how can his district believe anything he says? I do appreciate that Tulsi says words that sound conservative now, even though she can't take action to back them up. I don't know. I am glad she, like George, realized she made mistakes and was wrong every time she voted to support killing the unborn, taking away our gun rights, and legislated to kill America's energy independence in the fossil fuel industry. Okay. So look, here's what's going on. Do you think Marjorie Green cares at all about, any of this stuff that she's talking about? No. No, of course not. But she does care about getting her committee assignments. Here's about power. She needs Santos's vote. So now Marjorie Green is basically trying to get Kevin McCarthy elected as Speaker of the House. So I'm thinking that she made the calculation. Yes, a political calculation. That if she comes out in favor of Santos, Santos will be indebted to her. And then she can say, look, hey, Santos, why don't you join with me to help me elect, Kevin McCarthy to be the Speaker of the House? Wouldn't it be a great deal? I mean, I went to bat for you. You can help me. And so, look, Gabbard is not in Congress. And when she was in Congress, she was pretending to be a Democrat, pretending to be a progressive. And so, look, she's not any of those things anymore. And so there it is. And so Marjorie Green says, look, of course I'm going to take Santos' side. He's a newly elected representative. He's probably going to be seated. And so I'm going to try to get his support for McCarthy and myself. Now, to go along with that, you wonder why no other elected Republicans in the House of Representatives specifically are really speaking out and talking about this. Again, you have Republicans in New York, in New Jersey, that are like, whoa, this guy was, lying the whole time. Who would have known? Well, we got to do something about it. We need to investigate. But everyone in the House is like, George who? Santa. Haven't heard about it. Haven't heard anything about it. What did you staying quiet? Because they want to see, first of all, they don't want to endanger their, majority in the House of Representatives by having a special election in which a Democrat could come in and win. Okay. And then also trying to have people jockeying for power in these committee assignments, which are very, very important, very relevant. And having a committee assignment, by the way, is a great way to also get donors to come in and support you. And to also, when you're out of Congress, have corporations that you serve while you're in the committee to promise you a job after you're done with Congress. So there's that. Now, the thing is, this guy lies so much. Well, how could she ever trust his word? If, he promises to support Kevin McCarthy. We don't know. He's a liar. He's a complete liar. But that said, the calculation here is she didn't have anything to lose. But she could lose face, but who cares about that? She doesn't. It's never really mattered to Miss Jewish Space Lasers anyway. And so at the end of the day, she's got everything to gain. Yeah, attack Tulsi Gabbard for being a fake progressive, a fake Democrat. Fine. No skin off her, nose or whatever, right? And then try to get a potential ally. Makes sense to me. McCarthy did promise to restore Green's committee assignments could he become House Speaker, and so that is the motivation right there. And that's why she has also waded into this grifter fight. As usual, on all sides, no one good here. Let them fight. Let them fight. Okay. I'm way out of time. Way out of time. So I went way too long a lot of these stories. I'll have to save Ray Epps for tomorrow. The leopard's eating his face. All right, so I'm sure that story's not going to go away. Let's see. I have too many. There's an insanity. Okay, so what we're going to do here is on Twitch, we're going to raid into reactions. So that's hosted by the talented Ravana. So everybody check that out. And for everyone else, again, thank you for the very kind super chat, Gabby Mathis, for $5. Appreciate that. Everyone like and share the stream. Very important that you do so. Thank you all. I'm pretty sure she fights for Medicare for all at the start of every show. So oh yeah, very, very, very hard. Yeah. How's Isabella doing? Very, very good. Actually, she's pretty much back to normal, but still wearing a coat. So, Stitch has got to come out soon. I think it's next week and a half. We take her in to get her sutures out, and then sutures out, cone off. Otherwise, she is acting normally. She is pretty much back to herself. So, and it's good to see. That's our oldest kitty, of course. All right. Thank you for inquiring. Oh, one more thing. What's my New Year's show schedule? We are off on Tuesday. Or I'm sorry, we're off till Tuesday. No, we're not off till Tuesday. We're off on Monday. That's what I'm trying to say. Words are hard. No, we're just taking Monday off. So normal show tomorrow, and then back on Tuesday. So yeah, we're here tomorrow. We're here for show Friday, and then on Monday we're off, and we're back on Tuesday. The best words, the greatest words, tremendous words. I am very intelligent. I am a good speaker.
I'm cognitively there. Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. Yeah, we'll see you here tomorrow. We'll have that story for you, the Ray Epps story. Again, it's too much fun, so I can't leave you here. I can't end the year out without talking about some stories tomorrow. So we'll do that, and then again, we'll be back on Tuesday, so we'll have a 3-day weekend, and we'll do that. So, all right. Anyway, thank you all. You have a great night. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the follows and the likes and the shares. We'll see you back here tomorrow. I love you all. And remember, change begins with you.
You idiot.
And then they say, is Donald Trump an intellectual? Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
I know words. I have the best words. Tolerate.
Truth, essential. We have to keep our country gay. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that?
You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.
There's insanity in the control room.